Hey everyone, welcome to this month's question of the month. If you've got a question you want me to answer, go to yoganatomy.com/my question and I will answer the question for you. All right, this month's question of the month comes from Ananda. I hope you're well. I practiced yoga for several years in Europe, relocated to Southeast Asia for a few years, and now back in wintery Europe. The first thing I noticed was how tight and stuck my hips felt, and to less of an extent, back and shoulders. It just takes a long time for them to warm up. I am practicing with leggings and hoodies. Ha ha ha. My question is, do you think many of the yoga injuries could be attributed to practicing in a cold environment? The tissues simply cannot flow and consequently tear more. Any research about this? What is your experience, as I know that you transit between cold and warm climates? Yes, I do when I'm traveling. We're post-COVID, so more travel to come, I assume. The good news, Ananda, is I asked this very same question many years ago before we did our first injury research on Yoganatomy.com, which this is under Yoganatomy Research Project on the website. This in particular, this was right after William Broad's book came out on yoga, the science of yoga, and there was all the hubbub going on, are you injuring yourself by practicing yoga and all this stuff. I asked the same question. How does time of year, meaning winter, spring, summer, have any relationship to injuries? Temperature, which you can kind of correlate if you're in the northern hemisphere, or you're in Europe, during the winter months, is it more likely that you will have an injury, etc.? So when we did the survey, we asked questions about time of year, location, all of these things, so that we could kind of go, create this sort of spectrum of colder climates. Was there an increased rate of injuries being reported? And the answer was no. There was no correlation. It was very clear that there was no relationship between injury and time of year, not even a little relationship, which I'm with you. I thought of the same question because I thought this must have an impact. But it's possible, just to put an alternative out there, which is also not proven, which is when it's not to say that the tissues are not more generally feeling like they're pliable when we're warm. That is definitely true. We all know that experientially. When they're tighter, let's say, we tend to go slower because the sensation of tightness has a tendency to slow us down, make us a little bit more mindful, and be a little bit more careful. So that's one explanation as to why there was no correlation, at least in our research. So I hope that answers your question. It's a great one. Great minds think alike, all that good stuff. All right. Anybody else, you got a question you want me to answer? Go to yoganatomy.com/my question, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button too.